Welcome to Stats Daily Podcast. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And thank you guys for subscribing. We're blessed enough to have an interview with Squatchman, Greg Yost. How are you doing tonight, sir? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I had something I had to click off on there.
Oh, okay. How are
Yeah,
you
I'm
doing
good.
tonight? How are you doing tonight, man?
Oh, pretty good, dude. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show tonight.
Absolutely, man. Here in the month of October, we're going to be talking about. I'm gonna have cryptid people on and stuff, but there's one question I'm gonna ask you. What is the scariest encounter that you've had with a ghost?
Um, well, what are you talking about? The scariest encounter with Bigfoot or
Or a ghost?
a ghost? Well, I had an encounter with something I didn't know what it was. Some people said it might be a skinwalker. Some people might say it was some kind of demon. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I mean, everybody knows me as Squatchman. That's what I'm into Squatch, and I haven't run into too many other things. Not that I'm looking for them. Stuff like Dogman and all these other cryptids you hear about, and all these crazy things out in the woods. I never had any encounter or experience with that other than Sasquatch. So on this one day, it was a hot July day. It was back in 2015, and I was out in the woods, man, and it was really hot out that day, man, and it was at mid afternoon. So I was gonna hike back to my Jeep and go back home. It was just too hot to do anything, almost like 100 degrees. And when I got to the road out of the woods, I walked down this creek for a few miles and turned around and came back. And when I got up on the road, there was a figure about 75 yards down the road coming up out of the woods where I come up at, just down further. So I kind of glanced down at it and I'm like, well, that's funny. I didn't see nobody out in the woods. I'd like to know where he came from. And so I turned around, started walking into my Jeep, man, about 50 feet away. And all of a sudden, I feel breathing on my neck. So I turn around and this thing is right in front of me. And I have no idea what it is. It's tall and skinny. I mean, real skinny. And it's probably like 7 feet tall. And it had like grayish, greeny skin. Yeah, it was hard to describe the thing. I ain't never seen nothing like it, and it didn't look human, but it did kind of look human, like it was trying to look human, but it wasn't really a human because I looked down at his feet and it had like 3 claws on it, and he was right there in my face, and I'm a friendly guy. I'm never out looking for trouble or nothing. So I asked him, I go, hey, what's your name? And he says, Indiana. Yeah, and that's where I live. I live here in Indiana. So, I didn't know what to think. Oh, well, his name's Indiana. So I go, well, what are you doing out here, Indiana? And he says, Indiana again. And I'm going, okay. I go, well, what you doing out in them woods, Indiana? And everything I asked him, he kept saying Indiana. That was the only thing he could say, Indiana, Indiana. And it looked like he was starting to get aggressive and kind of mean with me. And like I told people, I haven't told a lot of people about this story because it's pretty far out there. But the more I thought about it, I should tell people because they don't know what's out here in these forests. And I've been out in the forest a long, long time, over 20 years at least. and never run across nothing like this. So so here he is right in front of me, on this hot July day. So describe what he looked like. I tell people he looked like Lurch, like that kind of face, real ugly. But he had this is just a weird look to him. And I told you about his feet. He looked like he had claws, and he had raggedy clothes on. I mean, real raggedy, all ripped up looking. They haven't been washed in a long time. And yeah, he just looked like a normal human being and all, nothing like it. So I didn't know what to think. So he gets right up in my face, I'm looking up at him. I'm 6'6". So he wasn't too much taller than me. He was about 7 feet tall, like I said. And I'm like, well, Indiana, I go, you need to get away, get out of my space, man. I go, I don't like people all up in my face, man. And they started screaming out, Indiana, Indiana. And I was like, hey, look, dude, I don't know no trouble from you. I go, get the F out of here. I was getting pretty mad, man. The Mr. Nice guy was disappearing, and I was turning into my warrior mode. Yeah, and I had a knife on me. It's my tactical knife. I carry it out there. So I told him to get away from me. I said, look, yeah, look, man. And he wouldn't leave, man. So I pulled my knife and I pushed him again. And I told him that I was going to gut his ass. Yeah, and I had my knife right there. I was ready to do battle with this thing. I really felt threatened for my life. And I think this thing wanted to kill me, man. I really did. And I was going to fight right there on that road out in the forest. I was ready. Nothing else I could do. So yeah, he was screaming Indiana. I mean, just going off screaming. I started cussing him out, screaming at him. Yeah, I was showing no fear or nothing from this creature. And I let him know I was not afraid. And I'm a very godly man, and God travels with me everywhere. And I was not gonna be had or done in by this creature. So I turned around after all that screaming. I told him, get the F out of here, blah, blah, blah. And I made it to my Jeep, jumped in my Jeep, man. And this is probably 10 seconds. That's all it took me to get there. And as soon as I got in, I looked over to where he was standing and he was gone. And I looked all over the area and he was nowhere to be seen. And it's like he just completely disappeared. I was only I had my back to him for 10 seconds, and as soon as I got in my Jeep, I looked over there to the left, and he was gone. So Seth, I would tell you, to this day, I do not know what this thing was. I have heard similar encounters people have had with creatures that have looked like this right here in Indiana, matter of fact. So that kind of makes me know that whatever this was, there's probably more of them out there. I think about this every time I go out in the forest, every time I go camping. It's in the back of my mind. Am I going to run into this Indiana dude again? Am I going to fare as good as I did the last time I went eye to eye with him? I don't know, but I was even thinking about calling it quits and everything after this. And I mean, I've seen Sasquatch. I have been within feet of Sasquatch, big, huge ones. I got great pictures of them. I have never feared the people of the forest like I feared this guy. I mean, he was evil, and he wanted to. I think he wanted to kill me, man. And if it wasn't for my energy I was putting off, and my fearless attitude towards this beast, I probably would, well, I wouldn't be here right now. And I've been telling this story quite a lot lately, letting people know the evils of the forest.
Wow, man. As a former ghost hunter, I've never heard that before. I was a ghost hunter for 5 years, but that sounds kind of like some of the Dogman stories that I've heard.
Yeah, but he wasn't nothing. He wasn't a dog man. Yeah, I got a great picture of a dog man, and these things, these things, they got heads like dogs. They got ears, snouts, everything, just like a dog. And this thing, people say dogmen are evil or mean. I don't know, man. I have never been messed with by a dog man or a dog people, whatever you call them. I've never been threatened by the Sasquatch people. But this thing that day in July, Indiana, he wasn't your normal cryptid. He wasn't a Sasquatch. He wasn't a dog man. He wasn't none of the above. He might have been something people call skinwalkers, whatever them things are. I mean, it's there's a lot going on out there in that universe, and just because people do not see these things for with their own eyes, it's hard for them to believe. I mean, if somebody told me this story, I'd have a hard time believing it. But since it happened to me, I have no other choice but to believe it. What I see is what I tell. Yeah, it's 100% the truth. By my pictures, my evidence, everything. Yeah, I'm a very intelligent man, a very respected and very credible man. And to have this happen to me that day, it went against all my thinking. I didn't believe that there was stuff like that out in the forest. Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough believing Bigfoot was real until I had my first encounter. And then I knew for sure Bigfoot wasn't a myth. But as far as this Indiana guy goes, I think it was a much more evil entity. Probably even from the depths of hell, maybe. Some type of demon. There is a holy war going on, good against evil. It's been going on for centuries, and the devil tries to destroy God's creations. It's nothing new, and other than the battle continues. And I think this might have been one of the devil's evildoers. I mean, you heard of the goat man? He's another one. Another cryptid lives in J-Town Trestles over there in Louisville, Kentucky. In my hometown, and I live right across the river from Louisville now. This guy has been around since the beginning of time. He's supposed to be a satire. And for people that don't know what a satire is, that's one of the highest ranking officers in Satan's army. He's like a king. And this guy carries a two-sided battle axe. And all through the decades, all through since I was a little boy, all I heard is stories about Goatman killing people on the trestles, luring them up on the trestle when a train comes by. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people has heard of the Poke Lick Monster. It's been a lot of shows about this. I got a YouTube channel, and we did a 5-part series on the Goat Man. Well, over in Louisville, there was a killing spree for a whole llama farm, 15 llamas. 7 of them got brutally murdered right there on the ranch in suburban Louisville, right in the middle of the city. me and my team went over there and did a full all-out blown investigation, and we put the pieces together. The goat man did this. The officials and police and authorities, they were trying to blame 3 dogs for doing this. I'm talking killing 7 llamas, some of them over 600 pounds, and their heads reaching almost 7 feet in the air. And that's their sole job, is to protect herds from predators like wolves, coyotes, anything that tries to get the herd. Usually one llama will protect the whole herd. And here on this night, we had 7 of them getting massacred. And we went there the very next day. I knocked on the guy's door. I told him who I was and what I wanted to do. He was real leery at first. He seen my Jeep with all my Bigfoot stuff and everything. He goes, "What, you think Bigfoot did this?" I go, "No, not at all." I go, "I'll talk to you when I'm done with my investigation, and I will tell you, well, I got a good idea who did it." So we launched into a full blown investigation, and I can't get into everything on your show. It'd take up way too much time. But what it led to is this guy showed us pictures that he didn't even show the media. This is on my YouTube channel of some of these llamas laying out in the field there, right in the middle of suburban Jefferson County, Louisville, Kentucky, with big gashes down their necks, similar to if they got sliced by a double-sided battle axe. I talked to neighbors. You heard blood-curdling screams at 4:30 in the morning from the massacre, hearing these llamas screaming with something else screaming, like a battle cry. It's just unbelievable how these people were describing what went on that night. So me and my team, we never found no dog prints. We thought we found a goat man print, the same one I found at the trestles when we went out there the very next day. So a week later, 2 mules gets mutilated the same way, right in Jefferson County, in suburban Louisville. Well protected by fence, chicken wire fence on top of a horse fence, where no dogs are going to get in. And again, mules will wipe a dog out. Everybody knows. They'll kick them, they'll bite them. Mules are pretty mean little animals. And 2 mules were so badly mutilated, they wouldn't even show them on the news. And we went out to that guy's house. He did not want to go on air with us. He said we could walk around his farm. He didn't want us in there. And he was really mourning the loss of his 2 beloved mules. A week later, a human gets found out at J-Town Trestles, right by the trestle where Goatman does his work at, where notorious humans have been killed yearly, every year. 2017, a couple from Ohio came down here. The lady, she died. 2019, 2 students from high school in Louisville went up there to the trestles looking for Goatman. One of them girls died. It's just a continuous cycle. No matter how much is put out there, everybody thinks it's a joke or a legend, and this stuff ain't real. Just like Indiana, well, I got news for you. The Goatman is real. And when we got his track, I believe I'm the only man walking on this planet that has Goatman's footprint. And we matched that up to one we found on the guy's farm. So all these massacres happened during they called it the red moon full cycle, and it was a week of killing almost 2 weeks, and all this stuff happened, and they try to blame it on dogs. And the last guy that his sister even got a hold of me after she seen my YouTube channel, and she said, "I'm so glad you're putting out this information. She goes, the police wouldn't even let us see my brother. It was her brother. He said he wouldn't even let me see his body. And they're trying to say it was suicide. But that very next day, after I seen it on the news, I went out there. There were police helicopters in the air. There were policemen everywhere. They were in green fatigues walking through the woods. I mean, so they were looking for something. So I know that they don't think if that was a suicide case, why would they be doing this? So I think they're getting a really good idea that Goat Man is no myth or legend. That he is real, and he has killed before, and he's going to kill again. And I got this all on my YouTube channel. The Adventures of Squatchman, Journey to the Truth, Squatchman TV. You know, for people interested in finding out about this guy. And we did a really good job on this, and we covered all the bases. And you just got to watch it. So that's all I got to tell you, brother.
Definitely sounds very interesting, man. Definitely people should definitely check that out. But man, your Bigfoot adventures are legendary. And man, what how can people like try to be respectful to like Bigfoot? Like what is the Bigfoot can obviously tell when people is like not gonna hurt them or anything, but how can people like respectfully go in the woods and like not show any disrespect to the Bigfoots or the forest people?
Hey, that's a great question and an easy question to answer. You know, because respect is all about, you know, it's a good start of getting a relationship. You know, where they will come out and show themselves to you, where they will do stuff. You know, let you see eye shine, give you a good activity. You know, when they like you, they'll do this, and it all starts with respecting the forest. You know, and every creature in it, and respecting the environment, the skies, you know, the waters, the air, um, animals. You know, you got to be a good-hearted person. So you take your good heart out there and your respect to the force and everything in it, and you don't go out there with a mindset like, well, I'm going to go out here and see Bigfoot. You know, that would be the last thing on your mind. You just go out and you be yourself. You don't be in no hurry. Don't rush down the trail. Don't act like you're out there working. Don't carry you know, all your fancy gadgets. You know, they really don't want their pictures taken. And if you're out there with all this equipment, you know, they're really not going to interact with you because, you know, they probably feel, you know, you're like most people, you know, wanting that $1 million money shot. And trust me, you know, I mean, there's not very many good Bigfoot pictures out there, and there's a reason for that. I mean, there are some good ones. I think I got a very good one, but it wasn't like he stood there and posed for me. I just got very lucky and blessed that day that I did get a picture of Curious George. You know, for the people that have seen that picture, a young juvenile,
Are you allowed
and
to
watch
show that
him come
picture
out and look at
or
me. But because they all trust me and they love me. Uh, yeah, I started growing this beard back in 2013, and you know, it's pretty long now. And I figure, you know, the more hair I'd have on me, the more I would look like them, and the more that they could relate to me. And you know, and I ain't gonna say you know it's helped or whatever, but it sure hasn't hurt. Yeah, and you know, and what I tell the people, you know, don't be a litter bug. You know, if you don't throw garbage down in the forest, you know, that's their home. You know, and like you said, Steph, it all starts with respect. You know, you got to respect their home. You don't want people coming in your home throwing down garbage. So, and when you go camping, And you're right there in the woods, and they're around you. But show respect for them. Don't burn plastic materials in your fire pit. Don't throw plastic firewood wrappers or water bottles. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't know, but that stuff is really toxic. And not only do the humans got to breathe this stuff, but the forest people, it goes right on into the forest. They don't want that toxic stuff going out there. So, yeah, put it in a plastic bag. Go to the dumpster. Most campsites have garbage cans and dumpsters. It's the little things, and they all add up. And of course, people will see you and what kind of person you are. And when you start going out a lot, and they start seeing you a lot, and they, like you said, they know your intentions. You're not trying to hurt them. You're not trying to take their picture. You're not trying to put them in a cage. You're not trying to put them in a zoo. You're not trying to put one everybody calls a slab on the table, whatever. No, you're out there with love and respect, showing the people that you just want an honest relationship with them. And whatever they decide, it's on you. I mean, you can only do so much. I mean, they pick and choose who they want to have relationships with. And I have been really blessed because every time I go out, I get action. The people who come out with me get action. And I mean, I'm talking good action. Um, I had a man come here from Oregon, Dan Lindholm, the Big Truth. Very, very, very cool dude. And I was friends on him on Facebook, and he came to Louisville to see his daughter. So I knew he was right here in my town, so I took him up to my forest. We were up there 5 or 6 hours, and he got the best picture of eye shine in the world, probably. Everybody just flipped out on it, and it is so awesome. And Dan, he was a skeptic about eye shine. He didn't. Not that he didn't believe that it wasn't possible. He just never seen it with his own eyes. And I told him when I met him at the forest that night, I go, "Well, Dan, or you're going to see it tonight. I promise you, you will see it." And not only did Dan see it, he got the best picture, like I just said, of it. Two beautiful amber eyes, 10 inches apart, about 70 feet from where he took the picture, peeking around a tree there. And there's a lot going on in that picture. Dan's still working on it, so I'm not going to get into what's going on, but other than the two eyes, I mean, so it really it really opened Dan's mind that this stuff is real, and just like other people, a lot of people say, well, they can't make their eyes glow. Hey, well, I got news for you. Yes, they can, and they do. And that picture Dan got basically, yeah, proves that yes, their eyes do glow, and it's just an amazing picture. And I see this all the time. And they got yellow eyes, they got green eyes, red eyes, blue eyes, white eyes, pink eyes. I've seen the whole spectrum. And when the leaves start falling here in a couple of weeks, you ought to go out there with me when that happens. Like this one lady told me one night, she said it looks like Christmas decorations out there. Giving a reference to how many eyes are out there. So yeah, when I'm in the forest, they come to me, and they come to me in force. Anywhere from 5 to 15, 20 of them will be around my camp. When I have campouts, when I have the campfires, just good-hearted people up there having a good time, and they were literally surrounding the camping area, right in the back of the campground, surrounded by forest. And we're kind of like up on a ridge, and you got a gentle incline down to a flat spot to a creek, and it's a perfect spot for them to come up and visit. And I mean, we have looked up from the campfire and standing right there at the wood line, beautiful sets of eyes. So I mean, I'm getting closer and closer to my ultimate goal, and that is to, I want to be with one. I want to spend time with one of the forest people, preferable the forest elder. I want to really get to know these people, who they really are. Well, what are they really are? Do they come from Earth or do they come from elsewhere? I mean, I want to get all the answers right from the horse's mouth, and hear it with my own ears instead of some other guy saying they do this, they do that. They can't do this. People just taking shots in the dark. And nobody really knows nothing about divorced people. I mean, you still have a lot of people that will say that they're flesh and blood ape creatures or whatever, and nothing more. And then you have people that think that they have come here from another planet, or angelic people that have come from the fallen angel theory. I mean, so nobody's right or wrong on this. I mean, until it's actually proven. And what better way to prove it is to sit down or walk down the creek talking to one. I mean, they're around me all the time now. So that was my goal from the beginning, over 20 years ago when I started this. I mean, I will not feel fulfilled. I will not feel whole until I will have this encounter. And I have already, I have envisioned this. I think I'm on a collision course for this to happen. And I have thought of what I'm going to say when I do get this opportunity. And another thing I would like to point out about people having a relationship with the forest people is the fear factor. Um, it's very true and it's very real. No matter what people say to you or how they act, a lot of people are very fearful of the forest people, very frightened of them. And some of these people could do a lot better with their interactions and encounters if they work on their losing their fear. Well, once you become fearless, it opens a whole new door, because you got to ask yourself. I mean, would you want to open up to somebody and have an interaction with somebody who fears you? I mean, you can actually sense their fear just like dogs do. Usually, if a dog senses you're scared of them or stuff, they get aggressive with you. They try to bite you, don't they? I mean, I don't know what divorce people do, but I'm sure it's a turn off to them. Like, well, this guy wants to see us and everything, but he fears us. I mean, everybody. I ain't gonna say I'm completely fearless of them, but I can tell you, I am not afraid of them like most. I mean, I will walk the woods by myself, no weapons, no guns. Every now and then, ever since Indiana, and a little bit before, I do carry my knife here and there. But to tell you the truth, I usually don't. Um, I feel God will take care of me. Um, as far as actually being afraid of them, no. I mean, I would camp out in the woods by myself, and I talked to a bunch of people that said they would not do this. Um, and then you got to remember the David Pilates books. 6,000 people a year are missing in the national and state forests. Where's all these people going to? Um, Yeah, I gave you an example of what could be taken on was that Indiana guy. I have no idea what's happening with these people, but all I'm saying is there's evil in the forest, and is evil getting all these people? Hey, I don't know. Some people blame Bigfoot for it. Some people blame this, that, bears, the cougars. Hey, I don't know. I don't know who's to blame. I just know there is a lot of people missing. I just seen it on the news tonight. 3 people out west missing in national forest. You know, and they all got the same story. Went hiking, went hiking, went hiking. Okay, number one, and they went hiking on a trail in a national forest. Everybody think that's a safe place to go, right? A marked trail. What could happen? Hey, we'll go ask some of them 6,000 people. Number one, never hike by yourself. Even though I do it, I don't do it anymore. Number two, always have an emergency GPS beacon with you if it's on your phone or something. But always have something where you can push a button in an emergency and it sends out a beacon to your last known spot. And number three, always have communication, or rather it be a walkie-talkie or a cell phone, which a lot of times you don't get signals anyway. So a walkie-talkie with a good 50-mile, 40-mile range where you could get emergency channels. And last but not least, you know, let close friends and loved ones know you're going out. You know, how long are you going to be gone? Where are you going? And what trail and what direction are you going to be heading? And have them expect a phone call from you when you get back out of the forest and go, hey, I'm safe. I'm on my way home. You know, that's you got to cover all bases. I mean, you're talking about your life. I mean, if you do not want to become missing, you better cover your own rear because nobody else is. And if you do hike alone, I would advise carrying a firearm because sadly, but true, some of these disappearances might be from humans. So you got to have protection. If you go hiking out in a national forest without any of these items I just mentioned, just a walking stick and some water, you're asking for a disaster to happen. So it's all about prevention. And like I tell everybody, it's all fun, it's all cool, but when people start coming up missing, it gets real. So just like at work, people that go to work, safety first. They drill it in your head. Just like in the forest, safety first. You know, protect you and protect yours, and protect the people you take out with you. Usually, if you go out in big groups, hey, that's the safe way to do it. You may not get as many activity or action, but it's safe. Back when I first started doing this, it was all about me, all about, I didn't want people to know what I did. So was I risking it back then? Was I stupid? I don't know. I'm here. So I did something right. But there's a lot of people that are on missing posters that aren't so lucky. I'm just bringing up a point, Seth. Let people know there's evil out there, man, and there's stuff out there that will get you, man.
Absolutely, man. And did you actually show the picture of the juvenile forest people on your YouTube channel, or?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll send them to you, and you can post them on your thing. Yeah, I got them on my phone. I got a couple other devices, but yeah, I'll send you a picture of the dog man I got, Curious George. Um, I think two of the best pictures out there, not because I took them, just because they're really good pictures. And yeah, when we get off here tonight, yeah, I'll send them to you, buddy, and you can post them up there on your site. No problem.
I definitely appreciate that, man. Thanks. And how tall was the juvenile that you seen that you caught on camera?
Okay, well, well, for people that want to hear the whole story, it's episode 44 on a Vic Condiff dogma or Bigfoot or Bigfoot Eyewitness Radio. Yeah, he has so many things going over there, but yeah, that's the name of that one. And I go through the whole process. But put it to you in a nutshell. Yeah, I had my little Samsung slide phone, and that's the old little phones if you remember. And I got pretty big hands, and I had one in the palm of my hand, just about like that, and just a little hole was sticking over my finger, and I could hit the button, turn it on, and then push one for a picture, and all you do is hit the one in the middle, and if you want to take another picture, you just hit one again. So all I had to do is like hit one and keep putting the middle button. Yeah, on most phones you got to look and mess with them. I could do this all with my thumb. So when I seen him over there, every time I looked to the right, he ducked behind this tree. He was up in a tree, and I could tell he wasn't really big. I mean, he looked like a little monkey. Yeah, that's at first I thought. I said, "Man, is that a monkey?" And yeah, every time I looked over there, I mean, he didn't want me to see him straight on, eye to eye. But I noticed, if I looked straight ahead or looked over this way, out of the corner of my eye, I could see him. He come back around. I mean, just hanging out. So I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I go, I'm gonna get my, because a lot of people were bugging me. Well, you're seeing Bigfoot, man. Well, where's your pictures? Where's your pic? The guys at work. That's why I didn't even want to like talking about it. So I'm like, well, guess what? I'm gonna get my picture of Bigfoot right now. So I slid it out, turned it on, just like I said. I had it in my hand, and I started snapping pictures. And I slowed down to a turtle's crawl. And I didn't look over there at all. I could see him. I mean, some pictures, man, he was hanging out. I'll send them to you too. And I got three pictures of him. I took like 20 or so, and I got three really good ones of him. The first one, where he's kind of holding the tree, and all you can see is his little fuzzy head sticking out. Then the second one, he's leaning out, and he's hanging on, with his arm here, and his arm's hanging down. And I mean, he's showing half his body in this picture. You can see his big old cone head, and see how muscular his arm was. So, and I was like, my God, this thing was, I mean, really buff. He was only 3.5 feet to 4 feet tall at the max, and he was huge. I mean, really, really muscles. And in the last one, he's down on the ground. So I think I got all three pictures on the same tree, because that was the best view that I did have, and he did follow me. I took other ones, but I guess I didn't get him. But he was down at the bottom of the tree in a big pile of brush, and I caught the football poles. He's got his arm, his right arm down in the ground. You can see his big forearm, big bicep, and he's looking over this way. He's got a real serious look on his face, and I believe he's looking at his dad or his mom, because he's making a lot of noise. And they probably said, "Hey, hey," trying to teach him. It's probably, hey, like I told Vic, that's probably the first human he's seen. And again, this beard might have worked to my advantage. Again, I told Vic, I said, hey, for all I know, he might have thought I was kin. He might have thought I was one of them walking through the forest. I got long hair, I got a long ponytail, I got a real long beard. I'm a pretty hairy dude. And you don't know what these guys think out there. I'm sure he knew I probably wasn't a Sasquatch, but he probably liked the way I looked, and he knew who I was from the other 3 years of stomping around that back there, and he was showing his love and affection for me. Like, hey man, I love this guy. And he wanted to get a good look at me. I mean, everybody hears that they're very curious people. Yes, they are very curious. And again, what I was back talking to you about, love, respect, and all that, this is what you will get in return for being a good human being. You will see stuff like this. You will have encounters like this, and it's just been so much better. I mean, I don't even like I said, I don't even try to get no pictures no more. I could care less about evidence. I could care less about anything. I'm not here to prove nothing. I'm out doing what I love doing and showing the people that I bring out what I can do. I mean, I'm at the point now where I can talk. I can talk directly to the force people and ask them to do stuff, and 90% of the time they will do what I've asked. Yeah, I've asked them to light their eyes up for the people. They do that. I ask for tree knocks. They will do that. I ask for vocals. I will get vocals. One time I even asked for something big because I was moving to Washington from Indiana. And I didn't think I'd ever come back to the forest I go to. They pushed 8 trees over 20 seconds after I asked this. 8 trees, and I had 5 people out there that were with me. And on the last one, you can actually see the tree going like this with a big black figure 50 feet away from us. We were right there by a car on a little pull off in the forest. They did this all right in front of me for my going away present. I mean, it sounded like a war zone out there. 8 trees right after another, and this is what I get. Um, yeah, I don't know if anybody else has this kind of stuff going on, but this is what I do, and this is what level I'm at this. And when you can do stuff like this and they respond, you got something good going.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've never seen Bigfoot personally, but I don't know. Have you heard like Bigfoot make like cat like noises and stuff? Because I've heard something very weird the other day that was very big, but it made a cat like noise like across the creek. And actually, a quarter mile from where I heard this, there was a Bigfoot sighting there.
Yeah, yeah, they can make any kind of noise they want. They always mimic animals. They can mimic whatever's out in the forest. They can whistle. But yeah, yeah, they can sound just like a cat. They can howl like a wolf. They can squawk like a hawk. They can whistle like a songbird. Uh, you wouldn't believe some of the things they can do. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. What these people can do, and and you got to ask yourself, well, where they learn how to mimic a cat? I mean, there aren't too many cats living in the forest, is there? So that tells you how smart they are. They probably knew that you had a cat or you got a love for cats, right? That's what I'm talking about. So, like, well, we'll get our attention. We'll show this dude what he loves. Is that he sounded like a cat, and that got your attention, right? So that's what they do. Yeah, you got to figure out the ways that they work, and so that you can understand them better. And but they did the same stuff to me. That they know we love cats. We had cat stuff that happened to us. Trust me. But yeah, that's how cool they are. and so you're on to a good start. I mean, you have never seen one, but keep going out there and doing what you're doing, and don't don't act like that's the only thing you want to do is see one. I mean, it will come to you. Just go out there and be yourself. Be happy. Whistle, sing. Yeah, I've went out there and sat on a log over a creek and read Bible verses. I mean, you never know when one's gonna pop up. I mean, you might see one out of the corner of your eye walking down the ridge line. You might see one 200 feet down the creek walking down the creek. I mean, when it happens, it happens. And so you never know when it's gonna happen. That's why people always ask me, "Well, you think we'll see one today?" And I'm like, I have no idea, man. I cannot tell you that. That's not up to me. That's up to them. If they wanna show themselves to people, then they're gonna do it. I mean, some of them like doing that. Large groups of people. As long as all the people are all on the same page, good-hearted people hitting off good energy. Yeah, if you're sitting around a campfire, laughing and having a good time, playing, singing, that's what they like to see. Good, loving heart and people in harmony. They don't want to see a bunch of people sitting around a campfire, half out of it, dazing off, nobody talking, real bad energy. Yeah, and all they're doing is just sitting there going, yeah, I want to see a Bigfoot. I want to see a big. Yeah, see what I'm saying? I mean, you manifest your own energy and what you get, and it's all about energy with these people. And if you're a high strung individual with good positive energy, a good heart, you're open minded, good things will come your way.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I have a dog that usually barks at every animal there is, and it didn't bark at this.
Well, that's a pretty smart dog. He knew. Um, well, when we bring our dog out to the forest, he's an Alaskan Malamute, a sled dog, and they absolutely love him. They mess with him, but yeah, I don't think they would ever hurt him. I mean, I don't think they will hurt stuff that we love. I mean, you hear about people's dogs getting ripped up and stuff. I mean, maybe every now and then they might do that, a real aggressive dog or something. But I think they're not going to go around ripping their dogs up, and just to spite us. Yeah, 'cause I really think they do. They do care about us and our feelings. So I mean, why would they want to kill your dog if? Yeah. I mean, that's like part of your family. And I think like your dog and my dog, that they can sense them out there. They know they're there, and they know they better be cool. I mean, you heard stories about dogs won't even go out the door and stuff. Their tails are underneath, their legs. And they're all hunched down. In other words, they're scared to death. They know what's out there. But I mean, all dogs react different. It sounds like you got a smart dog.
Yeah. Have you have you heard, like, has Bigfoot ever like talked to you? I mean, has the forest people ever talked to you, like, back and forth?
Um, yeah, they have. I got back when I used my audio, I got one speaking, and this is why I don't use equipment. So I'm glad you asked this question. So, well, I think it was like maybe back in 2014 that this guy gave me an audio recorder, and he said it belonged to a real famous guy, and he wanted me to have it, and said, "Well, maybe you'll have good luck with it." And he goes, "It's completely clean, completely been erased, nothing on it. It's like brand new." So I sat it out. I got a gifting stump, and I sat it out by a tree, and I put a bunch of leaves on it. So I was just hoping, maybe get something, a tree knock or something. I was naive back then. I didn't know. I didn't know what I did do about it, what I do now. Put it that way. So I put the recorder out, and it was out almost 22 hours. And that Saturday, I put it out that Saturday morning about 7 o'clock in the morning. So about noon, we were up there making chili dogs up at the campsite, and we heard a big loud tree knock right at high noon. I'm like, we're good. I got my recorder back there. Hopefully, I picked that up, man. That'd be awesome. So anyway, I get home and I play it all. And at one part, right at the high noon when we heard that tree knock, okay, you heard heavy footsteps walk up to it. They pick up and they tap on it 5 times. I got all this I got all this on audio. And he goes, or something like that. And then another one walks up. You can hear him, walks right up to him and says, Yahweh, what does it? I got a disgust. And they took about 5 steps, and you heard a big limb getting ripped out of the tree. Then he bangs it. That's where I got the tree knock at high noon. I got all this on tape. So, I mean, I took this to clergy and everything, man. I mean, this is a major evidence here, whatever. One saying Yahweh. That's another name for God. The Jewish people called him Yahweh. The Cherokee Nation called him Yahweh. A lot of people pray to him, just like, another name for God. And I got one saying this on tape. And so after that, I knew they were godly people from that day on. And they did not like what I did putting that out there. So even though I got the evidence, um, I apologized to him. I told him I would never use that stuff again. I would never try to get their picture. I would never do nothing like that. It's all about my heart now. All about my heart and soul. And I've been on a great ride ever since. But there's another night, though, to answer the rest of your question. The night they did speak directly to me, I had a big group camp out. And, I had probably had 15 people camping. And there was 2 guys next to my tent from Ohio. And we went to bed, and it's probably about 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning. I'm struggling to get to sleep, almost asleep, and I hear this, Greg. It sounds like it said my name, and I'm like, oh man, no way, you hearing things. I go, hey, no way. It was right behind my tent, right where the woods was at. So I'm like, no, I can't be happening. So I got up on my elbows, and I had my knife in my spotlight next to me, just in case. So immediately it said it again, Greg. So I'm like, oh, I said, OMG, man, and they did say my name. So I'm just freaking out. I go, man, should I answer it? Well, what should I do, man? Should I get out of my tent? I go, they're calling me out, man. What should I do? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on, dude. I don't know what to do. So I probably sat there 15 minutes, and then I lay back down. I went back to sleep. Uh, Talking about the fear factor. Yeah, I was feared. Yeah, I was scared that night. Very scared. I mean, they were right there on the other side of my little canvas wall on my tent, right by my head, speaking to me. So the next morning, I wasn't going to tell nobody. So we're sitting around making coffee, The guy from Cincinnati goes, "Well, I was getting ready to run over to your tent last night, man. It sounded like you had some trouble." So I go, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, it sounded like somebody said, get out." So I'm thinking, I go, "Dude," I go, "did it sound like Greg?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "That was it, man." He goes, "That was it." He goes, "Yeah, I heard that, dude, or right about 3:30 in the morning." And I go, "Man," I go, "that's incredible." He goes, "That wasn't you." I go, "No, man." I go, "That was that was the force people, man. They were behind my tent, man, calling me out." And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "It didn't sound like you, man. That was a real, like, guttural, grunted voice." Yeah, he heard it as good as I did. So, yeah, it was pretty freaky. But I mean, yeah, they know my name. They called me out that night. So that's another piece of the puzzle that I knew they were highly intelligent. They were more than what I probably thought they were, and for them to know my name, that was huge, man. That was huge.
Yeah, man, that definitely. Do you think they was wanting you to get off their land, or do you think they was trying to talk to you?
No, while I was at the campsite, I mean, you know, they know they know what's you know, they know where humans can go and where they can't go, and you know, they don't mind us at the campsite. Yeah, I wasn't out in the woods camping or nothing, so I was safe there. But I think it was your second thing. I think they was trying to communicate with me. I really do, and I feel bad that I didn't respond back. I couldn't do it. It freaked me out too much. But I will tell you next time if it ever happens, I'll be ready next time.
It'll probably happen for sure, man.
I hope.
Absolutely, man. It's been a thrill talking to you, man. And I want to thank you for being on.
Hey, I had a good time. I really enjoyed it, man, and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. I want to thank Squatchman, Greg, Yost for being on. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. Y'all have a good night and God bless.